You can eyeball it, see what you think of it, and then just right click on it and just open this with Illustrator, and that'll give you kind of a basis to begin with. Cancel that. Let's see what we end up with here. So again, just go to the Finder, open with Illustrator, maybe image pops open, so it gives you a beginning to take a look at and makes it a little bit easier. So when you go into the site, you can tighten it up a little bit, scroll up at least to the first part, tab over just to get Illustrator, and place it right there. So you can kind of see what you're working on at the same time. So the rulers, Command R, we're putting a ruler guide in there, getting a new layer. Okay, I'm going to lock that layer. And the 3D kind of gives you some of the options, at least, as to what's going to happen. And when you take a look at their profile, you can take a look at the one that you have right here and just take the pen tool and kind of build it up there, so keeping it in somewhat proportion. Shift key, you can kind of see based off a couple of these sections how far that's turning over. Kind of gives you that segment to it. So there's the piece that you have. And depending on if it goes in or out, you can kind of get the idea how far down it goes. And that gives you that shape. So you can build up your own profile. You can analyze it too, take to the direct selection tool, grab these points, just kind of extend it up a little bit, extend that out if it needs to. And again, they put the point afterwards. I'd suggest that you put it right into it. And from here to here, it's about the same distance as it is tall. So just kind of arch that in there. And this little section, just going to move it over a little bit. Keep it in proportion. So this part kind of comes up, brings that piece together. Okay, so if you do it in two separate sections, that's the part, so I'll just Option, put that over here. So in the Pathfinder, there's the Unite tool. Here it is swapped over. Okay, so here's the color, so I could just eyedrop the color to get the yellow. Double click on this, you can see the photograph yellow isn't that intense. So I can make it a little bit brighter. And then the pattern right here made a shape at least. Here's the gradient. If you remember, you have all of the different gradients. Here's some metal colors for that. You can also get into putting in any type of that section, making that a symbol, making it a gradient for that part. Drag some of the colors onto here to give it that look to it. Okay, so that's one way to go around it. Before you make it a symbol, it's a good idea to duplicate it in case you need to go back to it. So here's that part. And just take a look. Here's the symbols panel. Click on a new one. Just put metal. Hit OK. And now you have it all set. So this is the part. So they've kind of built up that section, gone into 3D. Revolve. And it'll bring you up this window that's a different version. Just go preview it, more options. this is the section that you have. So effect 3D revolve, and there's that section. So now you can kind of get an idea. You can always modify it later, but this will give you a little bit of the point. Kind of look like it's in the paper as well. More options shows you the shading. Put one behind it for the reflected light. Okay. Map art is going to be the panel, so you have 8 panels. So when you take a look, there's the middle. So put the metal part into there. Click OK. Actually, finish that point off. Okay, so now you kind of have that section illustrated. So again, if you need to, click on the appearance right here, and here's the 3D modeling. Preview. It says gradients will be rasterized, so you can change that option. Okay, just by coming down here. Here's this piece option for that. Here's the gradient colors. Here's the metal. So see if you can change that symbol. And just go to the appearance. So here's the map art. Back one. And there you go. So that gives you the shading to it. It gives you a little bit more to deal with. But underneath the options of this part, it shows you that section. This is just showing you the revolving of this part. This is if you took some of it off. Leaves you a gap. That gives you the coloring, that piece. There's the point.